Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Lisa Hill, and we're here today with our new show, Mortgage Mondays. And I have Petey Lewis here with me. He's with Axia Home Loans. He's a certified Path to Buy home ownership coach. And so today we're going to kind of talk about the myths. There are a lot of people out there, they think they have to rent, and they don't. They can actually buy at this point. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the myths today. And so I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Petey.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, so as Lisa said, I'm a certified Path to Buy homeownership coach. And what is that? Path to Buy homeownership program is kind of designed and created to help educate buyers and real estate agents and those involved in buying the homes, educate on how we can get them and turn them, take them off the fence and off the sidelines and into a home buying situation. So turning renters into buyers is really, that part of our program is what we focus on. The study, out of 300 home buyers surveyed, they found that 22% of the buyers, renters, have the ability to buy a home but don't know it. Mm-hmm. And we've had that situation before.
Yeah, we
have. Basically that is because of what I call three basic myths. There's a lot of misconceptions out there, and there's some myths. And that's kind of what the program's about.
Very good. Well, I know that we did have, we had a buyer who, she didn't have a lot of cash.
Right.
And so we ended up getting her to the closing table. And yeah, so, and was this the program that we had her on?
Yeah, so she came to us and was maybe looking for a rental, or people call and say, I'm not sure if I can buy or not, which is great. That's the first step. I'm not sure if I can buy or not, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Well, in her situation, she didn't have as much money as she thought she needed down.
Right.
Okay. Some of the basic myths are, people think you need 20% down for a down payment. That's not always the case. You can have as little as 3.5% down. A lot of people, let's say 22% of those that could buy but didn't know it, thinks you have to have a 740, high 700s credit score, which is a myth. That's not true. Mm-hmm. There are loan programs down to 640, 620, and even less, depending on the parameters. Some think you have to be on your specific job for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily true either. If you're salaried or an hourly worker and have a 2-year work history, and maybe with a couple different jobs, but it's the same line of work, or a year out of college, but you have transcripts to cover for those 2 years, that's a winner. Mm-hmm. So those kind of things. In her case, what you were talking about was, she didn't have as much money down, and she didn't know there was maybe some down payment assistance programs available for her. And that, with a little help from a family member, with a gift, we were able to make that happen.
Yeah, I know that. She was so excited because she didn't think she was going to get the buy. And once we really started working with her, Patrick got her to where she was approved, and boom, then now she owns a home. Now let me ask you, Patrick, on these programs, are these FHA mortgages, or are they conventional, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. They're both.
Mm-hmm.
Some qualify for the conventional, some qualify for an FHA. Really, the big difference is flexibility in credit score and down payment amounts.
Okay.
So we take the information from them. I usually like to start with how much really can they afford and what they have budgeted for their monthly payment.
Okay.
Okay. Someone comes to you and says, I don't know if I can buy or not, but Lisa said to call, which happens. I usually back into it with a monthly payment, because most people don't know how to equate an interest rate or a loan amount with how much they're going to pay every month.
Right.
You don't want to get through the whole process, get them all excited, then drop a monthly payment on them. Mm-hmm. After they've emotionally invested in this, and it's something that's way too high for them. So, we want to know what they have budgeted, that they're comfortable. Mm-hmm. Usually it's around the same, if a little bit more, what they're paying in rent. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then we start asking questions. We run their credit, and we look and see, kind of where they fit and where the best program is for them, for what their needs are. How much money do you have down? Some don't have any. Some have very little. Some have a lot, but maybe they don't have the debt to income.
Right.
So it just depends on where they're at. We kind of, these are puzzles, mm-hmm. and we just put the pieces together and see which one fits.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, is there still down payment assistant money out there for people?
There is.
Okay.
It's changed a little bit since the end of the year, but there is some down payment assistance money available from the state of Florida through Florida Housing, and there are some qualification standards. So it's income based. You can't make over a certain amount of income, and there's minimum credit scores and so forth. And the income is based on household income and what county you're located in. But those are regular FHA and conventional loans.
Okay.
They just have an assistance, which is filed as a second mortgage, assistance from the state. But they still are. So one of the misconceptions is some can be, but they are separate programs in themselves. They're really just an assistance program on top of an FHA or conventional loan. So a lot of those we do just the minimum downs, and then we get the down payment assistance to cover the down payment and part of the closing costs. And if you can do that in conjunction with maybe getting the seller to pay some, or there's a family member that helps, I mean, we take the pool of resources around and try to get them into the home.
Right. Now, and I know that there's another mortgage product, a USDA loan.
Yes.
Would this be something that you could do also?
Now, with the Certified Path to Buy program, which is just basically an education program by myself and partners like you, explaining and educating to buyers what's available, what they can and can't do, which 22% of them end up saying, oh, well, we can buy and we didn't know it.
Right.
And it's proven because we've done it. USDA, you can also, is part of educating, because if they live in one of those geographies where they're eligible for a USDA loan, then we start with that to see if they can fit the qualifications. That's a great loan because there's no money down. It's a really good interest rate, you know, it's the payments are usually lower. Can you do it with a down payment assistance program? Not USDA. Usually.
Okay.
I mean, there's a certain amount you can go with your first and your second mortgage, and it leaves very, very little for assistance to come in. I mean, for any assistance. So
right.
Usually in a USDA loan, we try to leverage their resources of family members or wherever 401ks or wherever they can leverage their money from, and we can hopefully do a whole nother segment about maybe some creative ideas on how to find down payment money.
Yeah, absolutely, because a lot of people don't know that you can use your 401k and things like that for down payments and things. A lot of people don't know that. So anyway, I know that USDA, just so you guys out there that don't know, it's 100% financing, but it's typically out in Never Land areas where you don't have a big population, because that's why it was created. It's
created for more urban areas. I mean, more rural and country areas. But recently, those areas have become so heavily populated.
Right.
They have pushed the parameters back out. So, that's a standalone product in itself. That is a regular program without down payment assistance. That's going to be your program you'll come to the table with the least amount out of your pocket. And let's not forget the down payment assistance program, because I see we have a question here. Is down payment assistance the same as the SHIP program? There's different types of down payment assistance programs: SHIP, HANDS, some different things, and they're their own standalone programs. So my program through the Florida Housing Agency is not the same as SHIP. SHIP's more of a localized, it's SHIP, SHIP program, and that's more of a separate down payment assistance with different parameters. What I'm talking about is the one that's through Florida Housing, through the state of Florida, the government there. That's all counties in Florida, so that's a good question.
And each county has their limit, because I know like Orange County is what, 15,000?
Yeah, well, they're all $7,500.
Oh, they're all $7,500.
We had one at $15,000, but it's not available as of December. So
okay.
You can give me a shout out if you want more parameters on it. But it's every county has it available. Depending on the county, your higher cost counties will have higher income limits. But most of it with the one that we deal with Florida Housing is around $7,500 up to.
Okay, well, I think this is really important for all you guys out there, that I know there's a lot of renters out there, and as you know, rents right now are really high. I mean, you can...
Really high.
Yeah, and I'm a perfect example. I rent, and so I'm kind of on the fence as to what I'm going to do, but But yeah, rents are really, really high right now. So I think for all of you guys out there that you're not sure, you're like, well, my credit score maybe isn't as good, or contact us. And
you don't know.
And you don't know.
A lot of people call and say, I don't know if I can do this, or and we end up pulling credit, and it's a little better than what's their version of bad. You hear all kinds of things. They think, oh, it's 690. It's terrible. I'm not going to be able to do this. You never know until you try, and it doesn't cost anything. And it's good to do, even if you can't do it now. It's good to make a game plan, which we have done in the past with your buyers and your team. Is if they can't, it's not a no, it's a not yet.
Right.
So the best thing to do is start somewhere, and we can kind of advise a little bit on where they sit on their score and credit, and maybe develop a game plan. Usually 3 to 6 to 12 months out.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. If you get it checked and then you can kind of give people a little guidance as to what they need to do to get their credit score to where they can do it. And I just think that it's worth a call to Patrick, and I know it's Petey Lewis, but I still call him Patrick. So, but we're going to be doing these shows weekly, and I would just like if you have any questions about mortgages or types of mortgages, we're going to be doing a lot of things. We had a really good show. We probably did one, about a month ago, and it was about bridge loans. And so I had someone ask over the weekend about bridge loans, and I'm going to repost that video, but I may have Patrick kind of revisit that in an upcoming episode, because that's a great program. If you have someone who is wanting to upsize or downsize or whatever they want to do, and they currently have a home, that's another whole subject, so we won't go there today. But I think that's a good topic that we can speak about. But if you guys have anything that you want to know about mortgages or any questions, let us know, because I'm going to have the experts here with me. It's going to be every Monday, and we will definitely answer all of your questions. And is there anything else that you would like to toss in, Patrick?
This has been great. It's all about strategy, really. And you don't know and can't create a strategy until you start.
That's it.
So if you're looking for the home, and you think and you rent, before you make while you're writing your next rent check, thinking, maybe I can buy and I don't know it. There's a lot of different ways to access money, and there's different ways to qualify. Like I said, they're puzzles. But if we can't, it's not the end of the world. It's a strategy, and we put it together. It's really important everyone knows there's a game plan here, and maybes are better than no's, and we can turn everything into a maybe. We just have to have a game plan.
Right. And something popped in my head, and it's out of my head already. So, but I'm sure I'll think about it, and I'll come up with whatever it was. I can't really think of it this time. But anyway, so, okay, guys, it was really great talking to you today. And like I said, post your questions. And if you have a program or something that you've heard about and you want more information, let us know. And we'll certainly we'll address it for you. And ask your questions. And because I got the guy right here to answer them.
You can get me on Facebook at Petey Lewis, or you can call me at 407-492-1010. So you can keep replaying this or rewind and get that number. We'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, we'll post the information for you guys. So anyway, this is Lisa Hill, and this is Mortgage Mondays, and we're going to be doing this every Monday afternoon. So you guys need to tune in, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.